right, welcome back to the D&D show, the Drew and Dre show. I am with my co-host Dre, and I'm Drew, and we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about a couple topics this week. We're going to talk about boxing. We're going to talk about the Premier League, and we'll discuss like the future of the Premier League, and the impact of what we're going to discuss in our second half of the podcast. But before we move any further, as we always do, let's check in. How you doing, bro?
Blessed and highly favored, man. Blessed and highly favored. Big talk from this week is how I'm gonna try to make it to a World Cup game. Gonna be a lot of money. Probably all of my little extra spending money for the year will go into this. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna try to make it out to a game, probably in Miami. So yeah, hopefully that works out. But
That was
yeah,
dope.
family's good. Everybody's healthy. Yeah, not only will it be in Miami, but it's also a Brazil game that I'm trying to go see. So yeah, I'm hyped,
Yeah,
bro. I'm hyped. We just got to make it happen. So yeah,
yeah.
looking
You
forward
figure
to
out how to pay with it later. Just put it on a credit card. That's what I do. That's how I live my life. I
it.
put it on a credit card, and then I figure out how to pay for it later. That's what I do.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
I
poor
might do
people
the
live.
opposite. Yeah, I'm trying to do the opposite and put the money away so that it's just there. But yeah, that is
That's
another option. That is
that's the
another option.
responsible way to do it. But poor folks like myself, we just we'll
That
figure out how to
is
pay for it later. As long as we have a credit
that
card, we're
is
good.
an option, man. That is
Yep,
an option. Uh,
yep, yep,
but yeah,
yep.
looking forward to it though for sure.
Cool, cool. Yes, yeah. No, I'm good. Blessed and highly favored. Just
Hmm.
just like you say. Nothing new, I would say, to report. I've had a couple, interesting experiences lately that maybe you and I will talk off the pod about, but it's more personal life stuff, but that I'm not gonna share on the pod. But yeah, man, no complaints here. I'm living out my purpose for sure. I truly feel that way. And boxing's going great. I'm getting new people to train like almost every day. There's people coming up to me pretty much every day. They want to train, because
Nice,
they see me train and they want to train. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not soliciting any, and I'm not charging these people either. So this it's really growing. You know, um, the boxing thing, and I think this is going to be my way to kind of reach the communities that I live in. Is teach boxing to kids. Or adults that want to get into it. All right.
nice.
But our first topic for this pod is on that same topic. It's on boxing. All right. And we got some big news. Floyd Mayweather, the man above me, on the screen here, my childhood hero, one of the greatest boxers, in my opinion, the greatest boxer ever, is coming back, and there is a monetary reason why he's coming back. More than likely, he probably blew all his money, but he's still a great skilled boxer, and you can see the skills. So, I still would love to see him fight no matter what. So, even though he's 49 years old and he's taking a huge risk, by fighting at this age, I'm good with it, especially when he's fighting another old man. You know, he's going to fight Mike Tyson soon, and then he's going to fight Pacquiao. So it's not like he's putting himself in a whole lot of risk against those dudes. But if he starts fighting these young bucks, he might. You know what I'm saying? I might be concerned.
Might get exposed. Yeah, might
Yeah,
get
no,
exposed
yeah,
out here.
yeah, for sure. But Mayweather is back, and he's gonna make a lot of money, and he's gonna entertain a lot of people, especially diehard boxing fans like myself. Um, Mayweather is the definition of uh, putting in the hard work. It's like that work ethic. Like that's what it's all about. That's why him and Kobe were just huge, role models for me growing up, because they're all about putting in the work. Their workouts are legendary, you know, and that's why they were so great, because they put in that work, you know, to work on their skills.
Yeah, but you mentioned the money thing. It's got to be money, right? Because I mean, I was looking into it because I'm not a huge boxing fan, so I got to read a little bit.
Right.
He's still got an unblemished record, right? He still
Yeah,
has never
undefeated.
lost
Yep.
a fight.
Hmm.
So it's like for you at this stage, it's like, bro, your name is just up there. Like, what can they say? You've never lost, so it's got to be money that he's coming back to do this for,
Right.
right? Says no other
And
reason.
and
Nothing
this is
else
not a
makes sense.
situation. This is not a situation where he's undefeated because they picked and chose their fights, like we talked about a week or so ago about how A level and B level fighters.
Yeah.
Mayweather is an A level fighter, and he beat a whole bunch of A level fighters, you know,
Hmm.
at the end of his career. And he had some B level guys thrown in there for sure. But he beat a whole. He has beat the most champions in boxing history. The most people with belts, he's beat the most people with belts. So it's kind of hard for anyone to argue that his resume is not pristine, like pristine. So,
So I got a question for you.
hmm yeah,
Sorry, I know you're probably going on a flow here because this is your
nah,
sport.
it's all good.
But so Tyson and Mayweather, how does that weight class work? Because
Yeah,
Tyson's a
so
big dude, right? Like
yeah. So
from what I've seen him, like
it'll be. I think it's gonna be at a catch weight. Technically, I guess technically it is a sanctioned fight, but it's an exhibition. Essentially, what it is. It's a showcase. It's the
so
Jake Paul. It's the same thing as the Jake Paul Mike Tyson thing. It's
okay,
no
so the
different.
weight
Only
doesn't
different.
matter that
Yeah, the
much
weight
in
doesn't matter.
those, like
No,
okay, because
the
I'm
weight
just
doesn't
looking.
matter.
I'm just picturing the two in my head. I'm like, bro, how are they allowed to box? It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense,
no,
bro.
yeah, because it's a glorified exhibition, essentially. That's why the weight classes and the sanctioned bodies don't have to truly sanction the fight. I think
Okay.
they might actually, because I think Mayweather's coming back, so I think they're going to sanction that fight, even though it's
Way
it's an
different weight
exhibition.
classes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're completely different weight classes. They're differently sized people. It's a
Well,
silly
yeah.
fight. It shouldn't be happening. It's nonsense. It's obviously a money grab, just like
Yeah.
even the Pacquiao is a money grab. You know, because these are not interesting fights. Mayweather is going to wipe out both of those dudes. It's not going to be close fights.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun to watch. What I saw that the Pacquiao one's on Netflix, so that's gonna be an easy one to just hop on and watch. Do you know where the Tyson fight is gonna be, or
I
no?
think
Not
it's
sure.
like I think it's going to happen overseas. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure the
okay.
fight's happening overseas and at like a weird time, so I don't know how many people are going to see it, uh, or going to stay up to see it, or wake up
Mm,
early to see it, depending on where it's at in the world. But
okay.
that's a fight. I'm telling you, don't watch that fight.
Don't watch the Tyson one.
Don't watch the
Or
Tyson fight. Don't bother watching you. I'm talking to you
yeah,
specifically.
okay,
Don't
okay.
watch the Tyson fight. Don't watch
He's
the
just
Pacquiao fight. These are not
I
interesting fights from a boxing standpoint. It's only for the really true diehards of boxing that are gonna watch. Don't watch if you're a casual boxing fan. Don't watch those fights. That's
don't
not.
watch those
That's a
fights. That's not the
poor
ones.
reflection of the boxing
These
like
are
world.
these are the fights that everyone's gonna watch though, because it's gonna have the most people talking about it though. You know what I mean? Like for people that are outside of the sport, like if you don't watch football, for example, you're gonna watch the Super Bowl because it's gonna
Right.
have the most people talk. So that's what this feels like.
No, for sure. This is for the casual fan. Yes, this is going to be super popular, and
Yeah,
they're going to watch it. I'm telling
yeah.
you and the
Don't
casual
watch it.
fan, don't watch it
I
because
am
you're
the
going to be
casual fan.
upset when you watch it because it's not going to be a close fight. Okay, neither one of them are going to be close fights. Mayweather's going to hit him and move and get out the way, and
Yeah.
it's going to pop shot him, both of them, the whole fight, and it's going to be an easy
Mhm.
fight for Mayweather. Both of them are
Gotcha.
going to be easy fights. So
They're
if
not
you're
gonna be
if you're
fun.
looking to be entertained,
I get
like that
yeah.
type of
Even
thing,
a
social media boxing type of thing, then no, this is not one of those type of situations. But it is a great thing for diehards like me because we just like seeing Mayweather, box because he's just had the skill set and all that. It's just entertaining for us because we're boxing nerds, so to speak.
okay. So absolute zero chance of any of these not being wins for your boy Mayweather. So he just added two wins and a bunch of money to his pocket,
Yeah,
essentially,
he's
for next
he's
year.
gonna rob a bunch of people. Yes, yes. A lot
Okay,
of people are gonna get their money stolen because they think this
got
is
it.
gonna be a fight. But no, these are gonna be
Got
easy
it.
fights. Pacquiao does not
Okay.
have the skill to beat Mayweather. I know people want to believe that, but he doesn't. He's
Yeah,
a
so
very flawed fighter.
it's all promotion, right? Because I mean, I read the article and Pacquiao's like, yeah, I can't wait to be the one blemish on his record, and I wasn't fully fit when I fought him the last time, and I'm like, it's all just like trying to get some money, right? Like, let me
Yeah.
just promote this. I'm gonna take him out this time. Like, yeah, okay.
To give some further like context and for you,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
Pacquiao fought Mario Barrios, which is the
Uh,
fighter who Ryan Garcia just beat. And I just
okay.
told you that Ryan Garcia is a C-level fighter. So that should give you an idea
Oh, so
of where
he's
Pacquiao's
bad,
at in
bad.
his career. Yes, he can
He's
fight, and
he's
I thought he actually won the fight, but he's not the same Pacquiao he was before, and he's definitely going to get destroyed
got you,
in this
but
fight.
he finna get paid. So yeah,
Yeah, they
that's what
both
he's
about to make a lot of money. Yeah, yeah,
doing.
yep, yep, yep. All right. Anything else about that? I think that yeah, I pretty much covered it
Nah,
all.
man, you broke it down for me. It's money. So yeah, he coming back. Don't expect anything to mess up his record, and he finna get paid. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got
All right, all right, all
it.
right. Good, good. We're on the same page. It's a money
Yeah.
grab. Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? Casual fans, don't bother. But if you're a diehard fan, you're gonna watch it because you like the skill. You like seeing people slip punches and counter, and it's gonna be beautiful boxing from a skill set, technique standpoint. But it's just not gonna be entertaining because
It's not
Mayweather is
gonna be
not gonna
competitive.
risk hurting himself to stop these dudes. He's not gonna risk getting hurt to stop these dudes. He will beat them up, but he's not gonna risk hurting himself or getting hurt to knock them out. He's not gonna do that.
Feel you.
All
I
right.
feel you. But God, man, a knockout will, even if they
It would be
stage it,
great, yes.
it,
Yeah, but he
it'll be
ain't thinking about
great,
us.
right? It'll be great. It'll
It
be
would be
great.
great, but he ain't thinking about us when he steps in that ring. And no fighter should be thinking about the audience when stepping in the ring. You need to be concerned
Yeah.
about winning and staying safe.
You in there, exactly. You in there to do a
Exactly.
job, man. Win a
Hmm.
match, come out of there alive. Yeah,
Exactly.
simple as that.
And I ain't been in front of a bunch of crowds either. I'm saying I was in boxing gyms when there were barely anybody there, and I was still concerned about
My
the
health.
fight. I
Yeah.
wasn't worried about entertaining nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
All right. All right, so let's move on to our second half of the pod. We're going to talk about the Premier League. There is a new proposal. I think it's already been approved actually for the salary cap for Premier League going
Yeah.
forward. So basically, just like baseball in the states, there is no salary cap for the Premier League. So the billionaires can spend as much money as they want on players, and there's no cap, there's no limit. So a lot of times the good teams or the teams that are more popular generate the most
Man
revenue.
City. Man City.
Right. They will get all the best players because they can pay the most money, right?
Correct. Yep.
And this is a major issue. But if the other owners don't want to, spend, but because of this new rule, there's a limit to how much each team can pay for that roster. Now, this is a different situation than what I had originally thought, bro, because the salary cap limit is actually based off of revenue.
Yep. Yep. So yeah,
So
if you
it's
make more
not
money, you can
truly a
spend more money.
salary
As
cap.
simple as that.
It's skewed.
Yeah,
It's
it's
skewed.
a scam. It's skewed. So it's funny. So I'm gonna bring up what they were trying to propose before. They didn't get enough votes for before we get into like what they're actually doing. So I think it was a year ago they proposed that each team would only be able to spend in the spending that they have it for is only for like the players, the head coach, and then like amortization of the players, and then like there was something else that was in there. But essentially, they basically said this is how much you get to spend on the field, which is they're counted as your players and your head coach, and that's what goes into the next one. But what they proposed originally was, all right, we're gonna take the TV revenue of like the 20th place team, multiply it by like I think they said 8. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. Multiply it by like some factor, and that's the amount that each team can spend. So that was going to be way different than what we have now because it's not gonna matter how much money you make revenue wise because you can only spend this amount. And
And
that
that would be better.
actually would have made it, that would make it more fair than what they're actually doing, but they didn't get enough votes. I think they needed like 14, they got 7. So yeah, they weren't having it because, and some of that is the club, but some of it's also the players being like, so what's the point? Like, I can't maximize my wages in this league. I'm gonna just go play in another league where they can pay me more. So like ultimately it's the clubs like wanting to be able to pay their players, but also it's the players just looking like, okay, this team can only spend this amount on the players and the coach. So if they already got this high earning player, I can't even ask for more than that because they can't pay me. So I think that's why they got pushed away and why we have what we have now. That's going into the next season where, like you said, it's 85% that you can spend on your players and your coach. Um, and then there's rules, so like you can go over it, but obviously like there's
Like the NBA, right?
fines that you have to pay, or yeah, there's
Hmm.
fines that you have to pay, or
Tax. You
point
got to pay a
deductions.
tax, right?
But yeah,
So,
yeah. So
so when I mentioned the last part about the revenue part, I did see the change in your demeanor about the whole thing. But here's the thing that I want, like, I want people to understand, including you, obviously, is that
yeah,
there is an incentive essentially program to be good, because if you're good, you're going to generate more revenue, and then you're going to be pay your
correct.
players more
Yep.
money. So it still is a salary cap. It's just a salary cap based off of how much you give it. You know what? About being good. If you don't care about being good, you'll be relegated. You'll be out the league anyway. So it won't matter.
Correct.
If the
Yep.
teams that actually care about being good will spend money, because how much they spend and how good they are at their job at finding talent, making talent better, the what is the system called? I don't want to say farm system again. Is it
Is
academy?
it development or? Oh yeah, it's
What's
the
the
academy.
is
It's
it
the academy.
academy? Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
if you'll
Youth
work
academies
on
and whatnot.
making your academy better, you'll work on finding talent, you'll work on getting better recruits for players, coaches, and whatnot. You'll invest in these things if how much you can pay a player and how much money you have to spend on your team is directly tied to how good you are at your job. So this right here is a
Yeah.
perfect thing for a general manager to have to do. It's almost even better than a salary cap, because the salary cap can be moved based off of how good you are at your job. In the NBA, the salary cap is completely generated. In the NFL, it's completely up to the TV revenue from the year past. So there could be teams that didn't care and had nothing to do with the TV revenue moving up, that benefit from the TV revenue going up the next year.
Yeah,
See
because
what
they
I'm saying?
split it, right?
Right, because they split it all. All
'Cause
the
they
teams
split it.
split
Yeah.
they split the higher cost. So like what the
Yeah.
number is, right? So say it was 50 one year and 60 the other year. The reason why it's
Yeah.
60 the next year is because they generated 10 million worth of revenue. The NBA did in their TV contracts.
Yeah.
That's the way they present it. So if a bunch of teams were really really bad and tanking, like the Jazz or like teams in the NBA right now, then they still get the benefit of the new salary cap ceiling, even though they didn't spend the money to try to
Which is
to
nice.
generate the revenue, right?
Hmm.
You see what I'm getting at? It's
Yeah.
not as good as a straight number, and then everybody has to follow that number, but it's still good because it still incentivizes these rich billionaire managers and owners to actually be good at their job and evaluate talent and to pay people what they are worth based off of uh, you know how much money they can pay for their team.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, I think it benefits the players because I think the other way they had it didn't benefit the players because they could literally just be capped out and they're just like, I want this much in wages a week, and it's like the Premier League literally says I can't pay you that much, bro,
Right?
or I
No,
gotta
no,
give another, or I gotta give another player a pay cut. So now it's like, okay,
no,
well,
no, no,
if
no.
we
What it
get
does,
so,
it sends people to city.
huh?
It sends people to the teams that are generating the revenue. What ends up is
Yeah,
they end
that's
up
true.
signing with the Lakers until they end up signing with
Yeah,
the proper team that makes the most revenue. So you need to
because
work
they made
your
the most
butt
revenue.
off to
Yeah,
become the Lakers. That's what you need to do as a team,
yeah,
is to become a better team, right? And the
yeah,
problem
for
is you
sure,
have the
for sure.
markets, and you
Because
have those markets, right?
yeah, one of the biggest like revenue generators is the Champions League and other European competitions. So what they did was in those competitions, and I think they try to make it easier because no one really understood the rules that they had, and they really didn't follow through on them. Like everybody always says, Man City got like 115 charges that are still pending or whatever. So they try to make it simpler because in the Champions League you have like you have this same thing, but it's 70%. So the Premier League is like, all right, we're gonna make it 85%. So the teams that are outside of the Champions League have an extra 15% that they can spend to hopefully get to the Champions League spots. So teams like Fulham, Villa, all those teams that are like right on the edge of like European competitions, they can spend more money. Because when I looked at this, I think they gave me stats from like 2023, and it was like, oh yeah, Chelsea were like the only top six team that was above that 70% cap, and we weren't way over. We were like 71% or something like that. But then Fulham was 106%. Like, so they had spent 106% of their like on field or whatever revenue they consist of like going into this. Like they spent 106% on their players and coach. So like they went way overboard. So ultimately, like if this started tomorrow, the only top six club, like they say, that it would hurt is Chelsea. But that would only be 1% or something like that. So it's like it's so weird when I looked at it. They're like, oh, you're gonna pay this fine if you went 250,000 euros over, and it was 1% higher than what it was, then you would do 1% times 250,000. That would be your fine, and Chelsea would be like, all right, bro, take it. Like we out of here. So
Yeah,
that's the other thing
yeah,
with those big clubs is
that's
like,
crazy.
bro, it's like you gave them such a like they give you like a thirty
Advantage.
percent like leeway basically. Yeah. Well, they
It's a
also
huge
wrote in
advantage.
there
If you're
like you
good
get
right
like
now,
a 30%. Yeah. Yeah,
keep
it's
going. Sorry.
yeah. So oh no, so yeah, so essentially like they say you get like a 30% allowance, I guess, before you actually get sanctioned, and the sanctions are like the point deduction or whatever. So essentially they're like, "Oh yeah, you can go up to like 115%, uh but the next season, you have to like basically get it down, and the only thing you'll get going over that 30% is a fine. But if you go like 31% over, then we're gonna start taking points from you. So it's
Right.
still like there's still gray areas that I know Chelsea's gonna hit and Man City's gonna hit. Um, but I think it's a little easier to understand, and I think it'll be good for the league because yeah, it's just easier to understand.
Just like the NBA cap situation with the new tiers, like you're the tier of over the cap. You can go over the cap. It's not a hard cap. It's a soft cap. You can go over the cap, but if you go over the cap, there's a penalty. There's a tax that is so
Exactly. Yeah.
egregious that you don't want to do it, even if you're a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like unless you're one of those billionaires
Yeah.
that like Steve Ballmer and you don't care, like money is nothing to you. It's paper. Then you can do that, you know. So that's
Yeah.
what.
And I think that's what they're gonna have to do. I think after a couple seasons of this new thing, they'll realize, yeah, we're not charging them enough because they keep going over, and the point is
Yeah,
to
yeah.
keep them
The
under.
penalty's gonna.
So
Yeah,
I think they'll change the fines and penalties like over the years because they'll realize like, oh, teams know like they could just cheat this 85% and go 10% more, but it's really only gonna. I think it's gonna be the teams that are like fifth through 10th place that this is going to impact the most because those are the teams that are like, all right, do we just stay in this fifth and 10th place because we're happy with how our team is running and not spend a lot of money? Or do we really want to go for the top four places and spend the money and take a fine because we're just trying to get into the top four? So yeah, it'll really like let you know which owners are like, yeah, let's really compete, or which are like,
Right. Right.
I like 10th. I like 10th place, bro. We staying in the Premier League. We making money. We get to play Man City, Chelsea, whatever, and
Yeah.
we making money off of that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it's ambition from the owner and whatnot, and I guess you'll get to see that a little bit more because they're trying to balance it out. I still don't think 70%, because that's how much like the Champions League teams get. So that's technically y'all will get to spend 70% because y'all are in the Champions League. Same with us. So like I still don't think 70% of Man City's money is gonna be less than 85% of Wolves' money. You know what I
It
mean?
won't be.
So
It
like,
won't be.
yeah,
No, it won't be. It won't be.
so that's
It
what I'm
won't be.
saying. So it's like they're trying to balance it out, but it's not gonna be balanced, bro,
It's
because
not going to be balanced at the
Wolves ain't making
beginning.
no money.
At the beginning. So at the
Yeah.
implementation of this, like the initiation of this, the first couple years of this new system with the salary cap, where it's tied to revenue, it's going to give an unfair advantage to the popular teams, the Cities, the Uniteds, the Liverpools, the Arsenals, the Chelseas. It's going to give them an unfair advantage because based off of their salary cap their revenue generation, they have more money to spend on players, and that's not a change to the previous system because that's already the case.
Yeah.
These teams they already decide that. What's changed is that you've now been told that you know the number that you can spend will go up as long as you continue to spend more. So if you're good at your job, you'll spend.
Or make more, yeah.
You understand? You'll be able to generate more,
Yeah.
which means you'll make more. So you're incentivized to like it's not like the TV contract. You're gonna get paid whatever you get paid. The TV contract. No, you're gonna be able to make more money now. Basically, what they're saying is that we're gonna go back to the TV people every year essentially and get more money based off of how good all these teams together, or I guess each team individually, does each year. So basically, that number is going to go up every year. So, and that means the money you make off of it is going to go up every year. So, this is a good change. I know there's a lot of flaws to it, but at the very beginning, it's gonna be unfair and it's gonna be give an unfair advantage to City and United and whatnot. But that was already the case. We already been had an advantage. We like Chelsea, United, all those popular teams. We've already had this advantage. But that advantage will slowly go away as those teams in the middle part, those 5, 10, 5, 6, 7, those teams, as they realize, all right, now we have a chance to make a lot more money. And now there's like somewhat of a cap on what City and what United and Chelsea make because there's this concept of diminishing returns, essentially. And this is something that actually Pete Bias at Florida Southern taught me, right? There is a concept where it's not just I do something and then there's a result, and then that amount is the same. As you continue to do something, the result of it, especially if it's a repetitive action, like for example, if I'm lifting weights, right, and I'm lifting 150, right, I'm doing bench press 150, right, and I get stronger and stronger, right, and then I can throw a football 30 yards because I've been benching, right. At a certain point, it's not going to be that I can throw 100 yards or 200 yards. It's not going to keep going further and further as I keep lifting 150 pounds. I have to move up the weight. I have to change the situation to get more strength. There's going to be a diminishing return that you get when you do an action. It's not going to continue to be the same return, especially if it's a repetitive action. So, as I'm saying with teams, is they know that if I'm good at my job, if I'm actually good at my job and I'm good at evaluating talent and I'm good at hiring the right players and whatnot, I'll get a return. And it won't be a diminishing return if I continue to get better at my job. It'll just continue to get better and better and better. I can't just continue to do the same thing. With those teams at the top, they're going to see diminishing returns because they're already good at their job. They're not going to be able to get so much better than you. As you get better, they're not going to continue to be able to get much better than you. They're already really good at their jobs. You're going to start catching up because their return on them trying to get better is going to get lower and lower. Because they're already good. Eventually, you're both going to be closer to the same level, good at your job, and the return each year getting better is not going to be as much. And it's going to
So
level
you're
out.
literally,
Eventually,
so
it's
you're
gonna
literally
level out.
saying that the way they set this up, like it should actually even it out, and we should see teams like Villa, Fulham. What other teams are always flighting? Newcastle, Brighton. We should see those teams if they are aggressive enough and like
If
go
they
on the market
care
and
about
actually
winning.
go get players. We should see them get there. Like we should see them sneak into the top four every once in a while because of the system that's set up. I just think, and it could happen. I just think it's going to be a while because 15% is just
Yeah, we got a huge
with
advantage. It's
with
gonna be
how
a
much
while.
it is right with how much like I don't know the revenue numbers, but it's like I just named like 5 Premier League teams. Most people who don't watch soccer have no idea who those teams are. Like
Right.
most people don't know who Fulham is, don't know who
Yeah.
Brighton is, don't know Bournemouth. All those teams that are like in and around like the top five, but it's like they can't really touch it, But if they can spend more or force us to spend less at the top, then and I guess that's the weird thing is like okay, so play like um what do you call it? Like let me just be on the other side of this argument and say this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think
So this
playing
85%,
devil's
right?
advocate.
So the teams that have been in the Champions League have already been subject to 70% that they can spend on their squad. So that's already been a thing for the teams that have been playing in the Champions League. So this going into the Premier League does not
What do
change
you mean by
anything
that?
for them.
Hold on. What do you
So
mean by that?
so
Because the
so
Champions League is.
apparently
Go ahead.
yes, but I think that's just on the squad period. So you can't spend more and I'll have to do some more
What does
research
that
on
even
this.
mean?
But
Because the
so
people in the
so
Champions League are
essentially
not a part of that league. They're just playing in the tournament.
that's
Where
correct.
they
But
incentivized.
but their spend for their players and their coach is not supposed to exceed the 70%. When I read this new
30% of
setup,
what?
70% of their like revenue, kind of like the setup now. So
So are
essentially
they
like
saying that
so
they're
essentially
allowed to?
like basically like that's the rules for being in the Champions League is like you have to have that. So when I was reading up on this, basically they said that we put it at 85% to give our teams that are trying to get into the Champions League a chance. So essentially like the way I'm looking at this is those teams that are normally in the UEFA competitions, this doesn't change anything for them because they're already at that 70% cap. So this doesn't change anything about their spending. It only changes the people below them, and it puts them at a cap of 85%. When I just told you Fulham was spending 106%. So to me, this is pushing them further down rather than pulling them up. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
because
And,
because here's the thing. There, I don't know about, I guess the rules for other leagues and how they determine who gets a bid for the Champions League, but
it's top
you're
four. It's top
if you're
four. It's
top
top
four,
four, and then you
if
get
it's
an
top four,
extra one if you do really well in all the
is it
competitions.
top
So
four
like,
for all the leagues, all the other
yeah.
leagues that all
Uh,
those top four
all
teams
the all
get
the
in?
teams, yeah, all the big like leagues, it's top four, and then you get like an extra spot if your league is just like doing really well. Like it's weird. Like if you won the
Right,
Champions League, I think you're already entered in it again. So
right, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
say
right.
so say so say like y'all came in fifth place this year, like the Premier League I think would automatically get five because y'all are automatically in, and then the top four would be in, even though
What do you
y'all are
mean
in
they would
fifth
expand
place.
it to five because
I
of it?
yeah, I think so. There's a couple different
Oh, you
reasons why
said
they
because
expanded to
if we
five.
win the Premier League,
If you win a Champions League,
oh, if you win the Champions
so
League
it,
the year before, then
I
you're automatically,
believe
and then you
I
get a permission.
believe
Okay.
yeah, it was either that or like World Cup qualifications or something like
Yeah,
that. But I think it's Champions League. If you win it, like you're automatically
that makes
qualified for the
sense.
next
Right,
seasons.
that makes
I think
sense.
that's how it works. So if that's the case, then it's like okay, I think they do a deciding thing, but yeah, like this past
Why
year
wouldn't
we
they
had
just do
five.
three teams and then do the one team is
I
automatic
don't.
in? That's
It's
just stupid to do
there's
four.
well
And
there's a lot of weird rules, bro. Like because they give fifth spots out to the leagues that do really well in the European competition. So like I think last year we won like the Conference League. Man City did really well in the Champions League, and other Premier League teams did really well. So they're like, all right, Premier League's getting rewarded a fifth spot, and that's kind of how they do it
yeah,
because
it's corrupt.
they have
It's
extra
completely
spots.
corrupt. Yeah, it's
I
completely
mean,
corrupt.
it's that's based off performance though,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
Like
no, that's
it's based
completely
off
corrupt.
performance.
If
So
you don't
what's
have a
wrong with
set,
that?
nah, I need set conditions. I don't. It's not. Oh yeah, they did. All right, let's give them a. Yeah, I need set conditions. That's corruption. That is corruption.
That's just how it works. But I mean,
Yeah,
but there's
yeah.
always going to be something like that if you say, all right, well the champs have to be back in it. We have to put them back in it. So
But
do you just punish the league for being like, hey, we got the
yeah,
champs, so now y'all can only have three other teams in it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
even if the
Come on.
champs are like 12th place, like so I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, but I have to do more research to confirm. But the way I read it, like this change doesn't mean anything to the teams that consistently get top four because they already have to deal with only spending 70% on their players and coach. So it only actually, in some ways, may negatively impact those teams below them because now they have a cap. So yeah,
Right.
yeah,
This is the scenario that you're painting is that essentially this is what you're painting. You're basically saying that there are teams that aren't good enough in their own leagues, and because they are not spending enough money in their own leagues to get into the top four, that they're never going to be able to get into Champions League because of this change because you
Well,
know
this is only Premier League, right? This change is only Premier League, and to me,
right.
I'm like the way this impacts the Premier League for me is okay. These top four teams, and it might extend. I have to do more research, but it might extend to the Europa League too. That you can only do 70%. So those top teams can only spend 70%. But now they're saying, okay, well, if you're not in those top teams, we'll let you spend 85, so you get an extra 15% to spend. But from history, it said that Fulham was spending 106%. So they actually just got cut on their spending. They can't spend 106% anymore. They can only spend 85% or they're getting fined. So like I think your idea that it might help out in the future because obviously there's the cap
No, no,
is accurate, but I don't know anymore
no,
if
no.
that's
What
really how
you
the Champions League teams get.
No, what I would say is that Fulham is spending. You saying 106% of their revenue? They're spending
Yeah,
over.
I think in like
What I'm saying,
2023 they were spending 106%, but now they can't. They can only
they
go to
can't. They
85.
can't be bad at their job. They can't be bad at their job because they're spending 106% of their revenue, and they're not even top four in the Premier League, which means
You're
you're
right.
spending a ton of
Yeah.
money and you're not good. So this is very
So they got to
important. This
restructure.
is this
They
is
got to
putting a
restructure.
cap on billionaires. You have to be good at your job, or you're not going to be rewarded.
Okay. Yeah.
So Fulham, yes, this is a perfect example. You are spending way over the number that you're even allowed to spend now because of based off the new rules, and you're still not good enough.
Yeah.
So you need to be way better at your job, find better talent, get a better academy, get better coaches. You need to actually be good at your job to be able to spend the money that you want to spend. This is just a team. This is like when the Lakers spend all this money on Westbrook and all these bums, and then we still suck. Like, just
Yeah.
because
You're
we're the
just like
Lakers and we can spend all this money does not mean just spend it.
yeah, you're
So
simply just
if
like
you can't find a better player, go
get better.
hit your
Yeah.
salary
You're just
floor,
like
and then don't spend no more money.
yeah.
Don't just spend money because you have
Seems
it.
like yeah, because it's essentially the league trying to protect itself and try to not go bankrupt or whatever is why they're
It's just
putting this stuff
billionaires,
out
right?
there,
Billionaires
which is not
compensation.
happening, which is not happening. It's the most profitable soccer league in the world. Like it's not happening, bro. All the other leagues are falling off compared to the Premier League. Like they make so much money. There's so much
This is
money
going
in
to
this
bring
league, but
a competitive balance. This is going to bring a competitive. But it's going to take years because teams like us and Chelsea and United, we have
They're
such an
so far.
advantage because we
Yeah.
make so much more money and we're way more
Yeah.
popular. But if those teams are better at
Yep.
being better with less, which is what they have to be when you're a small market team compared to a big market team, you have to be better at your job. You know,
Yeah, but I guess I guess that's the thing right now is like
it's gonna hurt
so
players.
right now
Yeah.
yeah right now they had rules or whatever, um, but they're not as strict. Obviously, like Everton, I think, and Nottingham Forest a couple years ago got a point deduction because of how bad their spending was, but theirs was more related to because it's like it's not like they outspent like City and Chelsea and teams like that. It it was more focused on profit. So
Right.
since they had a bunch of losses, I think that's why they got in trouble. But this takes the whole loss thing out of it. This is just like, okay, this is how
It's
much
on you.
money you make. This is how much you can spend.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
so
on you.
I think, uh, yeah, I think you might be right in the long term. It might help teams catch up, but in the short term, it's not helping them, bro. Because they get
Have to.
it's basically forcing them to spend less in the short run, bro.
It's
It's
not.
like
It's not
it's
forcing them to
it
spend.
it
It's,
it.
it's not
It
saying
is
that
though. I
if
just
you're
told you Fulham was at 106
but
and now
they're
they
not
can't
saying
go
that those
over
people. No, you
85.
got to pay tax. No, they just have to pay the tax. You're
Yeah,
giving me
that's true.
crocodile tears for billionaires. I got to pay taxes
You,
for overspending.
you
These are crocodile
yeah,
tears. You have to pay a tax for
yes.
being bad at your job. Tough, tough.
Which means they have to spend less, yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
don't
a
have to spend
mess.
less. You just have to pay
It's
more.
go it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
mess
right. This is not a hard
for the
cap. This
first
is a
couple of
soft cap.
years.
Yeah. If
Correct,
this was
yeah.
a hard cap, yes, you would be right. Those teams would be screwed because now they have to cut a bunch of players and find a way to get their number down. This is a soft cap.
Yeah.
You can spend over, but you're just going to be penalized. You're going to be taxed if you spend over. Okay?
Okay. But yeah, it just in my head it doesn't in my head right now it doesn't I'm thinking it does not help those teams. You know what I mean? Like yeah, there's
Right
a
now, it
cap,
doesn't.
it's great. It helps the league to me. It helps the league like try to not go out of business or whatever, which they're not going to do, but it helps the league like balance things out. And I think it's good for the players because they know if their team's playing well like okay, our team's making more money, they can pay me more
And they can pay
because
you more.
like
Exactly.
because yeah, it helps the players. But as far as like the teams, like early on, like if you're sixth, seventh place and you're not in the Champions League, like bro, this I'll have to see what other. I mean, because teams like Brighton probably spending 50% anyway, so they don't care. But we'll see. I had to do some more research on this and see if it's actually gonna help because in my head
Nah,
right
it's
now
gonna
it ain't
help,
helping.
man. You got.
In my head right now,
It's gonna
it
help,
ain't
bro.
helping those teams, bro.
It's gonna help. It will, bro. You got over time. It's this is not something that's gonna have. You're gonna see the results of next year or the year after. This
Yeah.
is something that it's gonna take 3-4 years for teams for it to level out, because like I was saying with the diminishing returns, there are people like City, right? City's up here, and there's teams like I guess the Wolves or whatever. So right, and our
Yeah,
management
Wolves.
is very, very good at getting talent and whatnot. Even though we spend a whole lot of money, we still are very good at getting talent and finding talent at a good price. But we're not so much better that as we get better, it's even. We're going to get slightly better over time, a little bit better. But the teams that are now been incentivized, I can make more money if I'm better at my job. Their return, they're going to see it. It's going to get more and more as they get better at their job. And as they get better and better at their job, it's going to level out. Because we're not going to be able to get so much better at our job that it's going to be a huge gap. That gap is going to close, and then you're going to see a more what is it? What is the word in when everything is even? It's not like it's not
Equity.
what is it? What is it called?
Is equity what you're looking
Nah,
for,
not
or are you
equity.
looking
It's like
for?
the word where when the competitive balance in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? When everything is like this, every team has a chance. We like to believe that this in the NBA. What is it called? There's like a word that we use when we're trying to say that everything is relatively even, like fair, whatnot.
Mm,
What was that
yeah,
word?
I mean, fair is the only word I could think of, but I'm sure it's on the tip of your tongue.
What is it? Competitive. It's like a competitive. It's not a meritocracy, but it's like um, I forget the word, but there's a word right where it's talking about how everything like in basketball it's fair. So basically, we all have this one salary cap. We all have this certain amount of money we could spend, and that's it. And then there's going to be more teams that are closer together because of it. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be more teams that are good. There's not going to be a huge gap. Just like when you left watching basketball, when the Warriors got really good, you was like, man, what's the point of winning? It's a
Yeah,
foregone
yeah,
conclusion.
I couldn't do.
There is a
Katie went to
foregone.
the Warriors, and I was like, all right,
Yeah,
bro, all right, bro,
yeah,
cool, we off,
yeah. Because there
we
was
out of here.
no what is the word? I can't forget the word, but there was no even like where all the teams on the same level. There was nothing like
It
that.
wasn't
It was
balanced.
yes, but competitive. It's not competitive
It's
balance. It's like
balanced.
a
Okay.
word
That
though.
sounds
That
right. Competitive balance.
yeah, it's a
Hmm.
competitive balance, but there's like a word that we use that means competitive balance for when everything is relatively even, and that's what we
Okay.
want. We want every year. You don't want to know who's going to win the championship. Like that shouldn't be the case. It should be relatively everybody's got a shot. You know what I'm saying? That's what true sports want. You want every team to have a shot.
Parity, equilibrium.
Parity.
Yeah,
There it
there you
is.
go.
Very
I had
good.
to
Thank you,
Google it. I
sir.
had to Google it, but we got there.
Parity. Parity. Yes. Yes. You're looking for parity.
I'm just like, this is what he looking for. This is what he looking for.
I was
Yeah.
about to say mismo. Like, I'm about to go Spanish because I couldn't figure out the word. I'm about to go mismo. But, like, yeah, no. Everything is
God,
the
man,
same.
that reminds me. I saw some clip of somebody I think on TikTok, and they were saying like, how do you say the word tree or something like that in Spanish? And I guess it's our ball. And so they just played a clip of LeBron saying, "That's our ball. That's our ball." I was, Drew. I was dying. I was dying, and I'm like, "Who thinks of this stuff, bro? Who thinks of this stuff?" That was the funniest thing I've seen in like months, man. I was like, "Oh my god," because that LeBron clip is hilarious. That's not our ball. That's our ball. That's our ball. So they're just like, when someone asks you how to say tree in Spanish, it's not our ball. Come on, man.
It's like an inside joke and no one knows about except you. And just continue. I do this all the time with even with my family. Like
It's so
I'll do
funny.
random texts and stuff, and I'll say stuff that are just Dan Le Batard quotes, and no one but me and my brother know what's happening. They're all like, I'm sure they're all like, what the hell is he talking about? What does that even mean? And me and my brother like crying laughing because we get the joke, but they don't get the joke. It's an inside joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not our ball.
All right. So that will be that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. I'm gonna give Dre a deadline. We're gonna talk Cole. We're gonna talk Cole World next week. We're gonna talk the new album.
It's a lot of
He'll
songs,
have them
bro. It's a
all.
lot of songs. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll have them all listened to. We'll go through the best songs, and I'll break down what we're gonna do. We're gonna just do that. That's what we're gonna do next week.
Okay.
We're gonna just do the whole album. We're not gonna review every song, but I'm gonna go through each song and I'm gonna break down what the thought process is, what J. Cole's talking about, what's the thought process with this song in the structure. I'm gonna break it down. You know, I'm not
Cool.
gonna go lyric for lyric, but I'll pick out certain lyrics and whatnot and explain what they mean. You know, because I know a lot of people don't like secular music or hip hop and rap because of curse words and or because of the things that they may talk about that certain people from different communities don't understand. But J. Cole talks about real life stuff. It's not nonsense. He's just like somebody you grew up with. He's no different, and he doesn't talk. This is not mumble rap, gangster trap nonsense. He's lyrical and he's real, and you know he's one of those people. Like if I met this person in real life, I'd be like, yeah, I would be cool with this person in real life. That's how, you know, because I see a lot in myself in J. Cole, a lot of how he grew up. I can relate to, so we're gonna break it down to the to the T. You know, in the details, and we'll make it so that the people that ain't from those communities or don't understand that world, we'll break it down so that people understand um, where he's coming from, what the mindset is. A tremendous artist, extremely gifted.
Yes,
Talent.
sir. I only got like 17 songs left to listen to.
Yeah,
Getting
get
there.
on it, bro. Get on it. Get on it. All right, bro.
All right,
If you
bro.
ain't got nothing else, we out.
Yeah, we out, bro.
All right.
One.